Mr. Gary Holt. This is Jordi Tárrega from Barcelona, in Spain, and Yolanda Sabater from Canterbury in the United Kingdom, writing both for Popular One magazine and
Nice.
Starway to Rock, our website. First of all, let me say hello, Yolanda.
Hello, both of
Hello.
you. I think for both of us, it's a pleasure to have you today with in this interview, Gary. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. My
Where are,
pleasure.
where are you right now, Gary?
I'm at home, sitting there. I live in the forest, surrounded by animals and trees and no people. It's awesome.
Bro.
Yeah, just in the middle of getting ready for a tour. We leave in 2 days and doing press and packing the usual stuff.
Okay, first of all, congratulations for your new album, Goliath. Exodus fans have got the opportunity to watch the new video. Are you happy with press and fan opinions in YouTube? Have you got a good feedback, or do you not prefer to read comments about your new songs in YouTube?
Just going on the press I've been doing every day. Everybody, the response to this album's been mind-boggling, just awesome. It just boggles the mind. People are saying the best things that you could ever hope for on an album, because when you make an album, you write for yourself. I don't write it for anyone else. We write to make ourselves happy, and the whole band collaborated greatly on this album. Like more than any Exodus album we've ever done, and the response has been just amazing, and even the response to the first song we put out, because the journalists have heard the whole album by now. They love it, and I'm just like, you ain't heard anything yet. When you hear this whole thing, it's just it's a monster. It's Goliath.
Let's talk about the front cover and the name of the album because we are really interested in know why a Goliath.
When I wrote the song, and the song has an interesting story because I wrote probably 75% of the song I wrote in 1999. I wrote it in a time in my life when I was really fucking dealing with my drug problems and stuff. And every album we've done since I got clean, from the drugs, I've tried to finish the song, and sometimes you can't separate yourself mentally from the time that you did it. You're still just, I could never take it even 2 seconds further, even though I always thought it could be the heaviest thing ever. And finally I tried again this album and I did it. Like I said it to Tom Hunting, my drummer, he was there during all of that. And he just said, "Oh my God, you actually finished that song." And and the song is so huge and just spoke to me about like, a giant subterranean demon awoken from centuries of slumber. There's no existential meaning. It's just me creating a comic book fantasy. Like I did an interview today, and the guy said, he goes, "Is the spikes on the head representative of like Lady Liberty and the Statue of Liberty?" I'm like, "No, but you're right." Like, how did I never see that? Like, we just wanted his crown to be part of his flesh. But now I look at it, yeah, it does kind of look like the Statue of Liberty. But
So
well,
congrats
it's
for
never the
finishing
intention. But
after
maybe that's
27 years, yeah.
yeah, maybe that's good. It's just a deeper meaning to things. But it's just me in twisted fantasy world.
I don't know which songs are going to be the next singles, but I want to tell you that one of my favorites is Promise You This. Which are your favorite ones?
That's one of my favorites as well. That will be one of the singles and videos.
Okay.
The next one being Goliath, which I just saw the rough cut of it last night, and it's just awesome. And Katie Jacoby, who played the violins on the song, is in the video, so it like adds this element of class and sophistication to a bunch of old ugly metal dudes. And
Yeah.
then we're following it up with Promise You This, which is the opposite of all the other two videos. There's no concept at all. It's just us rocking as hard as we possibly can. And but yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. That was one of the first ones I wrote for the album. It's one of the few we had done because when we started the album, we had maybe 4 or 5 songs finished. and we recorded 18 songs. So, we like to write in the studio, and stay creative the whole time rather than go in, we have 10 songs, record them, go home.
And also, your last studio album was Persona Non Grata, and it was like 5 years ago. So, what was doing Gary Holt in these 5 years until this new album has been
Uh,
released?
Touring our asses off. We were on tour for 5 years, and when I'm home, I try to like live as peaceful a life as I can. Like I said, I live in the country, so there's a lot of work to do. Um, you know, fallen trees don't pick themselves up, things like
Oh,
that.
really?
And spend time with my family and like it's a lot of work living in the woods. It's a lot of work, but I love it. I love it. It's my happy place. So, and I miss it when I'm gone because the tranquility here is amazing. Like yesterday, I was doing interviews and I'm looking right out my window here at like a forest of oak trees, and there'll be like 20 wild turkeys in the driveway, and they're all puffed up. Like 10 deer, wild turkeys, everything. It's awesome. But yeah, we just worked really hard and toured forever, and we're about to do it again. Work harder than ever. We're about to start almost 3 straight months. It's crazy. I didn't do that when I was 25. I don't know what's wrong with me. But we believed so hard in this album, we said we're going to tour relentlessly.
You have said that the next single will be Goliath, probably the darkest song of the album. But there are two names, Peter Tägtgren and Katie Jacobi, who plays the violin. Yolanda plays the violin too,
Hmm.
so it's really interesting. Uh, Peter Tägtgren and Katie, I suppose, are not really common to have somebody else outside of the band in the album.
Well, Peter's one of our best friends, and it has been for a long time. And I did a solo for Hypocrisy years ago on the song Scrutinized. And then he did background vocals on The Sun Is My Destroyer on Exhibit B. And Lee wrote The Change in Me, and it was his vision from start to finish, and he wanted a certain, like, just a chorus, a choir of like clean vocals on the chorus. And he contacted Peter, and Peter sent it back in like a day. And Tom Hunting also sang the clean parts. And at the end of the song, it's Rob and Peter just having a screaming competition, like. But Lee saw that song from the start to the finish. It was like, his all his ideas and vision, and Peter just made it all perfect. And Katie, she's been one of our friends since she was a kid. She used to come and play with us on stage when she was 15 years old. And when I recorded the harmony section in Goliath, I heard in my head, I heard violins, I heard like string section. And she was on tour with the Who, so she wasn't home. So we had someone else come in, and the performance wasn't good enough. But the idea showed me that we were right. Like this could be great. And then when she got home, I sent her the song, and I said, she's like, what do what's your goal here? And I said, maximum sadness. I want it to be beautiful. I said, like a movie soundtrack. And overnight she sent it back with like 18 tracks, and it was just gorgeous. So I ended up like, sent her a message and like, what are you doing on this day? You want to be in the video? And she said, yeah, I'll happen to be in LA. And we recorded we filmed the videos in Arizona. So it's just like an hour flight. And so everything worked out perfect. And it's amazing. It's going to be awesome. We also collaborated with a digital visual artist, Jacob. What's his last name? Give me 1 second. The brain fart in there. Yep. I want to be accurate here. I'll have to get that for you. Oh, hold on, hold on. I know what to look for.
Maybe we can look for it if it's
Yes.
Yeah. Well, his website's Dead Tempo Visions on Instagram.
okay.
He's got like a
Hmm,
250,000
cool.
followers. And I'm a big fan of his work. It's like super disturbing and kind of creepy and nightmare like clips that he does, and he's got a huge, huge following. And I reached out to him like a long time ago and said, if we ever get around to it, I'd like you to work on do some stuff for a video, and he was super into it. And him and Jim Laveau, our director, they like coordinated, and it's like super like surreal. The video, it's like really cool. It's like we bring Goliath to life. It's awesome.
Yeah. So let's gonna talk about the 3 almost months tour. First of all, you go to Canada with Megadeth and Anthrax, then in Europe with Creator and Carcass, and then finally in the US with Sepultura. Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
No words.
Yeah, we're doing some really great tours right out the gate. We're not shouldering all the responsibility, as a headliner, which we'll do that later, but we just get to be a part of some really awesome tours and get to get my work done early and go have dinner. It's gonna be awesome. And yeah, they're all bands of super close friends of ours. So it's gonna be a lot of fun for sure. And we're looking forward to it. We're ready.
Have you listened to the last album of Megadeth?
Only 2 songs, the first 2 singles. It's great. And I heard like 10 seconds of Ride the Lightning. But I've been so busy, I haven't heard anything. And when I'm listening to music in my car, I listen to Adele.
Yeah, it's really good also.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's cool.
maybe
I'd
Ride
rather I'd rather listen
Sorry?
to Adele than any metal albums anyway.
By the way, Sepultura and Megadeth, 2 bands that you are going to tour with, are going to say goodbye to
Yes,
finish
they are. Yeah.
their careers. I hope that is. I hope will not finish both, but it's what do you think when a band says goodbye?
No, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, for one, I can't retire. I got to keep working, or like I'd have to, find another way to make a living. But we still love doing this, and as long as we could do it at a level that we require, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. Eventually someday that time may come where like physically it's too hard to play this stuff because modern era Exodus is much more difficult to play than the early stuff. It's hard on the body, and like I've got joint issues. I've had injections in both shoulders recently, and
Oh,
got some tendon problems, and my knees are bad, my elbows, everything, like arthritis in the hands. But while we can do it, we're going to do it and do it hard, That's why we're doing like 3 months almost straight. 'Cause while we can, let's do it.
Yolanda?
it's the question of Wacken, so maybe
Yes,
you can
yeah,
do it.
sorry. I remember that I attended twice in your concerts in Wacken Open Air. So I want to ask you about how important was Wacken Open Air because for many bands in the 90s, Wacken Open Air was a dream come true. Heavy metal in a big areas and festivals open air. So how important was Wacken Open Air for Exodus?
Wacken, not at all. I'll be totally honest, Um, we played a legendary show at Wacken. We put it out as a DVD, and then since then we've never played again. And we were booked once, and we made a change with our booking agent, and the agency was also part of Wacken, and they kicked us off Wacken. So fuck off, Wacken can fuck off.
Ah, okay.
Like if
Really?
they ever want us back, we're happy to come back. But there's many great festivals, and they literally kicked us off the bill, and then asked us to lie about it and said, "Can you say you had some?" Other reason to, we didn't have a reason to like drop
Come
off.
on.
You kicked us off, because we changed agencies, not because we did anything to Vakken, but the agency also is part of Vakken. So, I mean, I shouldn't probably even say this, but I don't care. I'm 61 years old. I'm not going to kiss anybody's ass.
Yeah.
And there's other great festivals that treat us wonderfully, and all we did was change agents, we didn't say anything about Vakken, and they kicked us off. You can't
Yeah,
play.
we have a great festivals in Spain. Rockfest, Leyendas.
Yeah, and they're all awesome and they treat you great. And Hellfest is like going to Disneyland, like heavy metal Disneyland. They got gigantic, Lemmy statues, and it's awesome. And we'd love to play Wacken again someday, but only in the right circumstances.
But we interview a lot of musicians, of course, and when you realize about this background in the market, it's really disappointing.
Yeah. And I mean, I saw his Wacken sign up there.
Yeah.
First thing I thought was like, Wacken,
Do
but
it.
I think sometimes festivals get so big they think they can just like piss on people,
Yes.
Like when Slayer played Wacken, the final time, we told our tour manager we'd like a t-shirt. And the initial answer was, you have to go get it yourself.
Wow.
Fucking Slayer, right? Headlining.
Yeah.
And we were told at first that we had to go out and get it ourselves. Like, you can't give the band 4 t-shirts, like, oh, well, I mean, I'll probably never play Wacken now, right? But, I mean, I got no hate for it. They're huge and it's awesome. But at some point,
Money is the
I
money.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I think we've had offers since then, but they were like not good, like, so, it is what it is. But yeah, you kick a band off and ask them to like tell a different story as to why, it's like, I'm all about honesty and, being a man of your word. And if I'm going to kick a band off a bill, I'm not going to ask them to lie as to what happened.
Now that you mentioned Slayer, plans in the future?
We have a show this year at Sick New World, Texas, which should be awesome.
For 27?
I'm sorry?
For 27?
For 26 this year.
No, yeah, but
We
I
have the
mean,
one show in Texas. And as long as we're still having fun, I think we'll probably do a couple of shows, 1 or 2 shows a year. And it gives me my space and time to concentrate on Exodus, which is awesome. And it also allows like people who are too young to have ever seen Slayer, allows them to see it. And it's amazing. And everything's on fire. It's crazy. It's awesome, and when we first came back, we were really good. That's important, but we rehearsed really hard to prepare ourselves. And we all had a lot of fun. It was awesome. And this last year, everything, including the Back to the Beginning, it was awesome. It was a great time.
You were there?
Yeah, it was Slayer. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's true. Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like,
what a luck.
One of the greatest moments of my life. You can't describe it,
And checking the internet, I have seen that Gary Holt officiated Tom Araya's renewal wedding.
Yeah.
This for the people, I suppose it's just friendship, but for the thrash metal fans, it's something amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an ordained minister, which is pretty funny, right? It costs like $25 online. It was really easy. And I did it to officiate a marriage for one of mine and my wife's best friends. So, and of course, I'm the guy who, when he goes online to become an official, ordained minister, and they sell you all the shit at the end checkout, I bought the collar and everything. Like, I bought everything. I have like a laminate that says, clergy. And Tom and Sandra asked me if I'd renew their vows, and it was amazing. Totally awesome.
I don't know if we have only 30 minutes. You want the horror films or just more questions? Yeah, okay. We want to include like an special about horror films. And we asking for the people that if they can tell us 3 films that have an impact in you, like disturbing or horror, kind of scare.
Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yes, horror films.
Oh, films.
3
films?
of them. Yeah.
But when you were young, they impacted. You couldn't sleep.
Oh, well,
when you were a
Exorcist, of course. The Exorcist is like, changed. It scared the whole country. The whole world was terrified, and everybody ran to their local priests for confessional. That's always like the classic. Other than that, The Thing, the John Carpenter remake. Special effects are still better than any CGI stuff they're doing now. And interesting that a movie just was recently re-released that I've had on VHS for decades is Saulo.
Is re-released, that one? Oh,
Yeah, they just re-released it, which is, it's a loose take on the Marquis de Sade's 120 Days of Sodom. And I've had the movie forever, and then everybody's talking about it. Like, oh, I've got it in a box somewhere on VHS. Like really, really rare, the one I have
yeah,
because it's so old and it's a pretty disgusting movie. The
quite.
Terrifier is awesome. Human Centipede, it's always a classic.
Well, yeah, the human centipede. Well, one no, but
Yeah, it's a pretty fucked up movie.
I haven't seen it yet, but I will do
Oh,
it.
you better go
but
watch
you can
that.
imagine more or less
Yeah,
the.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The problem is okay.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Okay, let's go for a really difficult question. Which is the first album you bought with your own money?
Say that again.
Yes. Which is the first album you bought, but with your
Uh,
own money?
the first album I ever bought with my own money was probably the Partridge Family album. The television family band. I was probably like, I don't know, I was young, I was a kid. Bought that. Still know some of the lyrics as a classic.
In
I
you
have
in
a
US, no?
I have on my wall someone gave me, I think my wife gave me, I have a David Cassidy like page from a fan club magazine because they heard that, David Cassidy was part of the Partridge Family.
Okay, second one. If you ever cry in a concert, and if you remember which band and which song.
Did you say that again? Sorry.
If you ever cried in a concert,
I've
cried.
ever cried? Um, no, never have. I mean, I've been moved emotionally, like, seeing some of my heroes, Prince, my number one musical hero. I've seen live many times. But you don't cry because even when he plays like something really emotional, it's usually sandwiched around some of the nastiest funk you've ever heard in your life. Um, I did watch back in the early 80s, we went and saw Gary Moore at a club in San Francisco, and he
Mm,
played Parisian Walkways, and it's so beautiful. His solo made my manager cry. She just burst into tears. But it was beautiful. We were all like, almost there, all the guys, because all the Bay Area guitar players were in one circle, just, at the altar of Gary Moore. And he played like with such passion. We were all like, I got something in my eye, I think.
almost, yeah.
But she had like genuine just tears running. It was beautiful.
Uh, we got time enough, so I want to ask you about Bonded by Blood, your first album. It is a classic and has an iconic front cover. So how important was that first album for Exodus?
It changed everything in my life. I mean, we were just kids making the kind of music we wanted to make. For all intents and purposes, the music didn't really exist when we started, when us and Metallica. And yeah, that album's the most important thing in my life, I mean, outside of family. It it put me on the path to where I am, and I'm sitting here talking to you folks right now, because of that album.
And if I ask you which was the first thrash metal band in the Bay Area, the answer is Exodus.
Yeah, 1979, the band was founded, like we're the first thrash band. I mean, we when we were doing our thing, Metallica was doing their thing. We'd never heard of each other until we played a show together, and like it was kind of like you were looking into a mirror. Um, but yeah, they were the only other thrash. It wasn't even called thrash metal yet. It was just I think people called us speed metal back then.
Yeah. Uh, and incredibly, you've got a mate there, Kirk Hammett. Kirk Hammett and you were the first major players in Exodus, so it's amazing.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I'm talking about the first lineup of Exodus, Kirk Hammett from Metallica. It
Yeah,
was,
I wasn't in the band yet. Like the band was founded 2 years before I joined. The first time I ever saw Kirk Hammett was in my high school musical band room playing with Exodus, playing half cover songs and some originals. And I was good friends with the other guitar player in my high school, and I didn't play guitar yet at all. So, it's like kind of crazy to look back, just a bunch of kids.
beautiful. Okay, I think we are finished.
Yeah.
Maybe Yolanda.
I mean, we don't have more time, no? Or you have like 30
Yeah, I
minutes
have
or
another one coming up. Yeah.
okay.
I got a couple minutes though.
So should do any question more or Jordi?
Yeah, can I ask you about because it's I want to ask you about the name of Exodus. Why you were not in the beginning of the band, but why the name Exodus?
I don't know. You know, when you're kids, you're just looking for something that sounds cool. And Kirk, I think, came up with the name. Him and Tom Hunting, I guess, or probably, I think it was Kirk though. And you're just like, what are we going to call our band? Exodus. But the word Exodus means a mass movement of people, and we've
Mm.
been known to make people move. So, I think it fits.
And I have just a curiosity question because you mentioned that even the word trash has not been invented in the 97. How did word come to describe this kind of music? Do you remember? Because it's a
I
really
don't remember.
interesting word.
I don't remember who's the first one to start calling it thrash metal. That's a good question. I'd like to know.
Yeah, because the word is, I mean, not in a negative way, but has similar.
I think it's probably someone took it from the lyrics in Whiplash, thrashing all around. That
Hmm?
my guess is someone like it adopted it from the Metallica lyric, thrashing, thrash metal.
Ah, okay. I
That's my
didn't know
guess.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Or
I
the
think I think
sound.
that's a good guess.
It's a good theory, I think. Okay, we have finished the interview. If you
Yeah.
can, just a favor, if you
Thank
can
you
say,
guys.
could you say, okay, hello, this is Gary Holt from Exodus. Please check my interview in Starway to Rock.
Okay. This is Gary Holt from Exodus, and please check out my interview with Stairway to Rock.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys.
Hope to
Was
see
lovely.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye. Muy bien, ¿no?
Sí, ¿te ha gustado?
Joder, muy majete.
Espera, paro de grabar.